Hello students, this is Priyanka Bagchi from SVM Sinidih, and today I'm here with you with the explanation of the rest of the few points of the chapter Gopal and the Hilsa fish. This is from Honeycomb of class 7. As you all must know that we have already discussed some of the points, and today I will discuss the rest of the few points. These are the things we have already discussed before. This is the story in the form of comic exercise, vocabulary, which I said that you have to learn them. It will enable you to go through the meaning of the words. Then comes the points, the highlights of the story. These points we have already discussed. Up to point 11 we have discussed. Today I am going to start from point number 12. So this 12th, 13, 14, 15 and 16. To everyone's surprise, nobody talks about Hilsa fish in the palace court. Courtiers' reaction about Gopal. The king too was surprised about Gopal's appearance. Gopal made the king remember his challenge to him. And the last point is the king became very happy and congratulated Gopal. These are the few points today which we will discuss. So, finally, Gopal was brought before the king. The guards too became irritated when Gopal started singing and dancing loudly. But when he was brought before the king, at that time too, no one seemed to be interested in the Hilsa fish that Gopal had bought, because it was the look of Gopal which had attracted the attention of the people. Even in the court, the king, the courtiers and all other men seemed to talk only about Gopal's appearance and not about the fish. They all had recognized Gopal, but they were not interested to see the huge Hilsa fish which Gopal was carrying in his hand, but his get-up. Even the king too didn't notice the big Hilsa fish in Gopal's hand and asked him about his peculiar dressing and look. The courtiers were talking in a low voice that Gopal must have become mad. They were muttering and whispering that Gopal must have become crazy. He had lost his senses, while others were saying that it might be one of Gopal's crazy jokes, as all of them were aware of the jokes that time to time Gopal used to crack. Whatever things were going on in the court, then the king turned to Gopal and, without noticing the Hilsa fish in his hands, he asked Gopal why he had made such kind of a peculiar appearance. To this, Gopal tried to remind the king that he had been forgetting something. Who had been? The king had been. The king was puzzled what he was forgetting. Then Gopal lifted his hands up and showed the whole court the big Hilsa fish in his hands and reminded the king of his challenge of bringing a huge Hilsa fish to the palace without anyone uttering a single word about it. And now he came from his home to the palace, crossing the whole market, and nowhere and nobody talked or asked anything about Hilsa fish but only about his look since morning. Even in court also the same thing happened, and the Majesty too did not notice the Hilsa fish and asked about his dressing. So what that means? That means Gopal was up to achieving his goal. Hearing to this, the whole court, including the king, burst into laughter. The king then congratulated Gopal for fulfilling his challenge and achieving one more impossible task with ease. And this way Gopal once again proved his wisdom and intelligence. So this was the discussion of the story, means point wise the highlights of the story, and now we will discuss the moral of the story. Which moral we got from this story? That nothing is impossible in this world. If one is wise and clever, he can achieve anything in his life by making smart decisions, and that is only the most important factor in one's life, and that will only bring all the good things in one's life. So this was the discussion of the story, the explanation of the story point wise, and here the short summary of the story is also given, which you will get to read, and the summary is given here. The pictures are also given here for your convenience. The king, Gopal. Here in this slide also few things are given. These are the situation when Gopal was trying to prepare himself to go to the palace. This is the scene of the court. This is the scene when Gopal was shouting outside the gate. This way the story completes today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, students.